What's one thing you learned from all the married men in your life?
Not to get married. And if you do get married, get a prenup. And if you do get a prenup, get a DNA test as well. But truthfully, just don't get married. I never knew as to why. And it's because you could see it's very scary that women can change so drastically at like a switch of a button. The person you loved and was such a caring and endearing person can change into such a nasty, terrible, horrific person. And that's just so crazy to think. And quite frankly, the person you think would never do that to you could do that to you. I don't care how much love they have for you. I don't care how they treat you. One day that shit could all change. And that is terrible. So I wouldn't see what's the point of getting married if that person can just one day get up and be like, I want to get a divorce and I want to take all your stuff. And I don't want you to see your kids ever again either. Like, that in itself just sounds like, why would I want to go through something like that?
If I were a rich girl, it's because I'd have $1 every time this question's asked. You want to know the big security a lot of men have when they get married, mainly focusing in the United States? It's getting someone who gives a shit that you are still alive. And it comes in many forms. Hey, maybe you shouldn't drink so much beer. You know, you can't have pizza rolls every night for dinner. Make sure you take your meds. Please don't drive so fast today. I scheduled your doctor's appointment. I'm your listening ear when you have a problem. Now, I'm not saying any of those statements are inherently bad. It's something you would say to someone that you give a shit about. It's just that in the majority of cis-hetero relationships, one party is generally making those statements because that party has been taught they have to be constantly concerned with their partner's well-being, usually at the expense of their own. So the long and short of it, y'all get a fucking guardian angel.
If any female can tell me the benefit for men to get married, I will propose to my shorty tonight. I'll propose to my shorty tonight if any female could give me just one benefit for men in being in a marriage. Cause I already be having sex. And to be honest, that's all men really give a about. To be honest, shit, I could do everything else myself. What benefit is there for men? At least with women, there's security. Like, you know, we divorced, she gets the kids, the house, and all the motherfucking money. Give me one benefit for men, please. I'm asking you right now, and I propose to shorty tonight.
So I was reading a study about the benefits men get from being married. Fellas, studies show that you live 10 years longer being married. So when you say, what do a woman bring to the table? Life, 10 years extra.
Girl, what the fuck is you talking about?
You mean you weren't gonna ask me to marry you?
What are you, nuts?
There's almost no benefit in a man getting married anymore, especially with women leading the charge and asking for divorce. You ask for divorce and then you won't have, instead of just taking your cut and leaving, you won't have, and you want alimony, and you want this man to still pay for your lifestyle even though you don't want to be with him. Like, that sounds like a scam to me. Like, fuck no. Like, what's the point in being married?
If you inherit money during your marriage, it is your own separate account. Make sure that any savings account, checking account, brokerage account is only in your name. Do not add your spouse's name to the title, ever. By putting your marital assets, your marital income into your inheritance, you're going to lose half of your inheritance.
So what did you guys think about that video? You see the difference between the mindset in the man and woman in today's society? And in that last video, the attorney, she hit on some key points. She talked about inheritance, she talked about life insurance, she talked about estate. I did not know that. And she also talked about the accounts that you should have. So anyway, you have to basically educate yourself on legalities of getting married. Okay, we got too much information going on these days. You know, you got social media, you got the internet, you got all kind of information. There's no way that a person should go into marriage without educating themselves first. You know, I could say back in my time, oh, well, my parents didn't talk about it to us and their parents didn't talk about it to them, this, that, and the other. But in today's day, age and time, you have no excuses. But I thought it was funny how the men, their thoughts on marriage was like, it was like a scare thing, like, if when you get divorced, this, that, and the other, woman ends up with everything, the court burns you, which is true. The court does, it's unfair treatment with how the court treats a man today and, in divorce court. And the women's, they say, well, the man benefits because he, it was the statistics done that the man lives 10 years longer than the average single man, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. Not saying anything bad about women, but I think those, statistics need to be redone. I don't know where the sources came from, how they went about doing their stats, what have you, who they questioned, or where they got their stats from, but it needs to be redone. I think those are old statistics. The reason I say that because, you got some women that'll nag a man to death, or a man will go, a man's life can be cut short. It's not always he lives longer. I don't think that's the case these days. I know vice versa. Women have their complaints about marriage too. How they say that the man is happier. That they say that the man benefits because he's happier and lives longer, and the woman is much sadder and doesn't benefit because she's more miserable, because she has more to do, this, that, and the other. I don't know. But anyway, I thought it was interesting, the two mindsets, because I want people to think out there, especially in our day and age. There's a lot of stuff going on now. The women complain about the man as far as the manosphere, and the man complain about the women that have this male energy that they're injecting out. Now, I'm specifically talking about our community, because in our community, when they're little girls, they're taught to be strong. That's what their mothers teach them. Girl, when you grow up, you have your own money, have your own this, that, and the other. I want you to be strong. Don't be dependent on anybody. You got to take care of yourself, blah, blah, blah. That's what's being taught to most young ladies in our community, And that being said, there's a difference between our community and other communities. We know that, But anyway, I just thought I'd put that, that's like food for thought video. Think a little bit, Just think. It's not always bad, but it's who you choose and how you select your partner.